A sentence typically lasts 10 years. This means nothing, though, because as you come to the end of your sentence, they just slap on a few more years so that you can't go home. I've been here 8 years and lost hope long ago of any chance I had of going home. Here in this prison camp, things hardly change. We live every day the same as before, scrounging for food, supporting others in our gang, working until we can barely stand. The only thing that makes a day good, rather than bad, is extra food or tobacco. This is how we live, and I am here to show you what a day in my life looks like. My day starts right when I wake up.
S854! 3 days in the can with work as usual.
But what for, Comrade Warder?
Why weren't you up yet? Come on, it's the commandant's office.
I come to find out, though, that my punishment is far easier than the can. Instead, I get assigned to mop the warder's room, where I can be warm and get away with a sloppy job. You see, there's work and work. It's like two ends of a stick. If you're working for human beings, then do a real job of it. But if you work for dopes, then you just go through the motions. Otherwise, they'd all have kicked the bucket long ago. The joy I felt for this made my day a little better. It's 17.5 below this morning. Not great, but at least it's not 40 below. When I finish, I head to the mess hall for breakfast.
Fedikov is there saving my food. That's the good thing about being put in a gang. We always look out for each other. I ate my camp gruel, disappointed with how cold it is. I take my time picking at the fish, getting every bit, except the eyes. I can't stand eating the eyes if they're detached and floating around in the bowl.
Scene!
I go back to the barracks after breakfast to finish getting ready. You have to bundle up as much as possible for the day of work. Otherwise, you will freeze and be in immense pain. Here, Pavlo, the assistant gang boss, gives me my ration of bread. I carefully weigh it in my hand, trying to decide if I actually got a full ration. It's about an ounce short, as usual.
But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in any man's matters. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf.
Alyoshka is another member in Gang 104. He's a Baptist and often reads scriptures out loud as if he intends to preach to everyone around him.
104! Outside!
Tyron is our gang boss, and his timing is perfect. He always waits until the last possible minute. He wants to stay inside just as much as anyone else. I get up with the rest of the gang and make my way outside. This is the worst part of the day, entering the cold and facing a new day of work with an empty belly. They always search us for food or things that we might use to escape. as if many people try that. It's nearly impossible, and when you get caught, you get beat up by all the other prisoners because you wasted their time.
Tyron, you have 23 6 days, right?
23.
I look around to see who's missing. That idiot Pantocleve managed to get out again. I didn't stand a chance of getting out sick for that day, and here he is getting out as often as he pleases. Honestly, what some of these dopes manage.
Undo your shirts!
Undo our shirts? Why would he want that? Some idiot from above probably decided to crack down or something. No, something was wrong. Did somebody get caught with a knife or something? No, that's absurd. People sneak knives in, not out.
You can't strip us in the cold? You're not real Soviet people. You're not true communists. 10 days in solitude. You can see to that later. Line up by threes.
That means it's time to get ready to head out. Everyone lines up in threes, and they count us at both the inner and outer gates. If their count does not match up with what's on the paper, then they make us go back and count again. Such moments were tedious to everyone, even the guards themselves. But the men mean more to a guard than gold. If there is one man missing on the other side of the wire, the guards will soon be taking his place. Our mile-long march to the building site is always dull. You go on living like this, with your eyes on the ground, and you had no time to think about how you got in and how you'll get out. A great number of people put thin rags on their face and attempt to block out the wind. I am one of them. This is going to be a really long day. Line up by threes! They count us before we enter the building site, just as they did before we left, to make certain everyone arrived. As if anyone would ever have the chance to run. You could so much as step out of line, and the wardens will willingly open fire on you. Gang 104 is placed on the bricklaying duty. I am perfectly fine with this, since I have become very skilled with the craft. The temperature is now only 1 degree below zero. Good weather for bricklaying. Tyron assigns everyone to a task. Kilgus, Senka, and I are going to be laying bricks, while the others will be making and carrying the mortar. I look up at the sky. The sun is directly overhead.
Looks like it's about noon.
No, the sun's directly overhead. That means it's about 1.
What do you mean? It's always been noon when the sun was directly overhead.
The Soviet government made a new law that said when the sun is up ahead, it's 1.
Does the sun come under the laws too? What don't they control? That whistle on the steam engine goes off. Lunchtime. The day is already half over. Maybe it won't be as bad of a day as I thought.
Bulls! Bulls!
Shukov, help me out here.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Hey! What are you doing?
They're ours.
Well, don't take them while I lost count.
That was 14.
No, I already said 14. Of course you did, but you didn't put them down. You had your hand on them and didn't give them to us. So count them if you don't believe me. Fine. 16, 18.
Oh, 2 more rations. This day just keeps getting better. If only the cook didn't tip off all his buddies with our food. We would have more that way. It's easy to give things away that don't belong to you.
I was in the army once. I was the best soldier they ever had. However, I was discharged because I was the son of a kook.
The boss always had the best stories. He always kept the guys interested. It was good for them to have a small part of enjoyment while stuck in here.
I was told to leave immediately. I tried to get a train ticket home, but I couldn't. So I had to sneak on. These 2 girls helped me. Soon after, I found them in a labor camp, so I repaid them. Meanwhile, I helped my brother get south of Russia. I found him a gang to help him, keep him safe. Soon afterwards, I was arrested. Been here ever since.
After lunch, our work picks up a great deal. Examining the work of the last group, I realize that we still have to strip some of the wall and lay the bricks properly in order for the wall to be stable. And one thing is always certain, work has to be done quickly and efficiently. Nobody can slack because the quality of your work determines how big your rations are. Tyron always seems a little harsh during the workday because of this, but he is really just looking out for everyone.
Order!
Keep that mortar fresh.
Don't let it dry out! Times have changed for scum like you handing out new sentences. You say a word, you bloodsucker. You won't be alive much longer, get it?
That is what a boss comes in handy for, always there to protect those he is in charge of, and never afraid of anyone. Of course, they get honored for this. There's nothing you wouldn't do for your boss.
Fix up that hoist, will you? Where are we, mules?
We are so focused that the stream whistle blows before we know it. Everyone starts packing up, but Senka and I keep working. I'm so close to being done. I have to finish my row. I work for the past 3 acceptable moments. Then, the 2 of us have to catch up to everyone else. Line up by threes! There's one missing! One missing? How selfish can that man be? It takes so much time to find him that all the gangs are livid. it would be some idiot from 32 who fell asleep on the scaffold for the plasterers. Apparently, it was warm up there. I probably would have fallen asleep too, but that doesn't change anyone's mood. He will probably be beat up by the end of the night. A prisoner's worst enemy is the guy next to him. If we didn't fight each other, it would be another story. Move out! Thanks to that idiot from 32, we have no hope of getting to the mess hall before anyone. But as we march to see the other group, heading back late to camp, we run as fast as we can to beat them there. When we win, it's a bunch like of scared rabbits gloating over another bunch of scared rabbits.
Looks like you got a package, Caesar. Make sure you pick it up.
I see my opportunity. I know Caesar will not want to wait in line, so I take this chance to try to get something out of it.
I will wait for you, Caesar.
No, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Really, it's no problem.
If you say so.
Hello.
Shook up. Ah, there you are. It's almost your turn. Yes. Thank you again for saving my spot for me.
No problem.
I'll tell you what. You can have my ration for dinner. I'll probably get better food in my package anyway.
Thanks.
1. I didn't even wait to see if he would change his mind. This is really turning out to be a great day. 2 portions at lunch and dinner. I will be going to bed tonight as a well-fed man. I don't even ache like I did this morning. Things have certainly turned around.